Hey, everybody. I'm back with another gorgeous card. I actually love this one and have made it twice since this. We are going to be using this Blooming Vine die by Brass and Bliss. It is a layering stamp along with these color fuse inks from Brass and Bliss. As you can see, I've swatched them here. Look at those color hues. I love that. I love that I can get a light, a medium, a dark, and probably a darker, I guess. And then, like I mentioned in a few other videos, I am really trying to beef up my stash of like sympathy cards, get well cards, the harder cards that you kind of need in a pinch. So that's what we're doing today. All right, so this stamp set has, I think, 6 different flowers. And we are going to put these in our MISTI to show you a good way to get most of these stamped pretty quickly with different inks. So I put them all down. I did put them down in A, B, C, and then D, E, and then G. I don't know if they missed F or what happened, but it is G. So that we can then flip this paper in our MISTI and use this MISTI to all its amazingness. If you don't have one, get yourself one. If you are a stamper, even a scrapbooker, I am definitely telling all of my scrapbook friends that they also need MISTIs because you can double stamp. As you can see, this is a lighter blue, and my first couple of stamps, I wanted a little bit darker. It also, once it dries, will dry back a lot lighter, as you will see in at the end of the video. So I did do 1 or 2 different layers of that. Plus there was like a couple of spots that didn't quite get the coverage that I wanted, so we're gonna do that. Also, I used, both of these are using the lightest color, and I think that was Beachside for that one, and then Posy for this one. I love these 2 colors together. If you haven't noticed, I've done tons of cards lately with these 2. So yeah, again, my double layer, and then we are going to stick on the inside. So I did make sure, like I said, do this in ABC order, because then the insides of the flowers are also put down by ABC order, and it just keeps everything organized, I guess I should say. I do have to remember, though, on the flip side that everything is flipped backwards. So that real quick. But these line up pretty easy. For the most part, I think I only had trouble with like one. I think it was actually this one where I was like, nope, that wasn't right. We're going to line these all up and then stick it down and then flip our paper and restamp, and everything will be right in the same position. You don't have to reposition everything. This is one reason I absolutely love my MISTI, is I was able to knock out 12 of these pretty quickly. Yeah, see, you're seeing me do the ABCs because I wanted to make sure that I was doing them the correct way here. So you'll see me stop and do the ABCs quite enough times in this video. All right, so we're going to put those down. We are going to do this with a darker ink, so that we get that depth, and I think this one was Whisper. Yeah, so we just went up 1 color. I didn't go up to the darkest. I just went up to the medium pretty much, and you're going to see how much this just, bam, look at that. So freaking pretty. I love these flowers. I've actually used them on quite a few cards lately, so these were very seasoned stamps. And we're just going to flip that paper, and then we're going to use the 1 medium of the red color, which, ooh, I don't have them right next to me. Let's see, oh, right there, Scarlet. So we're going to ink our insides. And then one thing I did do, I did forget to do, is stamp the little inside, like the little like very inside of the flowers before I die cut them, which was kind of silly of me, but you're going to see me do that here. Right there I was like, I think I'm going to need a few more flowers to cover. What we are going to do is be covering the whole outside, not the whole outside, the whole outside, how do I say that, outside parameter of the card. perimeter. Maybe that's how we pronounce it. So I was like, I want one more color because I do believe that this is best with 3 different colors. And so I was like, let me do a darker blue with a darker center on there. I probably should have done one more, just so that you guys know, it probably would have worked a little bit better with one more flower in that dark blue color. So here I am. I'm trying to figure out which ones I actually used, as you can see. And we're going to just line those up and then stamp with the cedar, which is the darkest of blues. Here I am. I'm about to do that. And I'm like, yeah, no, we're going to just use the Misty. We're not going to try and hand stamp this. At first, I was just trying to be a little bit lazy and hand stamp it. But I'm like, you know what? No, I just can't really tell if I've got it lined up completely. And as you can see, I definitely spun that around a few times. So I'm kind of glad that I stopped myself and made sure that I had it all lined up. So, all right. And I think I ended up using B and C flowers for this one. So if you're following along, you know what flowers I used. I loved the way that these ones turned out in the card. It definitely added that just little bit of pop in the card that I was looking for. All right, we're just going to die cut these all out instead of sending this paper through a million times. I cut these down just because I didn't want them to get, the paper to get smushed up. And then on top of it, I didn't want to line up these dies. So you're going to see that because I did this in the Misty and I just turned the paper, I'm going to have to line up the dies for the first time. And then I'm just going to line those dies up on the next. I'm going to keep them. You're going to see here in just a second. I'm going to keep the dies directly in the paper. Here we go. And then there we go. I'm just going to line those dies right back up and put that right back through my die cutting machine because everything should line up exactly the same because we did it that way in the Misty. There we go. And that way I didn't have to go and retape everything back down. So it saved me time in the Misty and it also saved me time over here die cutting everything out. Now I will have to take the 2 that I did randomly and just line those back up, but that just took me a couple of seconds. And we're going to re-die cut those out. Because I will say that lining up the dies with these flowers is a little tricky sometimes. Once you get like the 2 big flowers, usually you can piece together and puzzle together the other ones. But that saved me a ton of time of not having to redo that. All right, so here I am. Though I saved myself time everywhere else, I had to take the time to put my little centers into my flowers. They do have 2 different stamps here, one for the big flowers and one for the little flowers. Honestly, this took me just a couple of seconds. And I'm just using Momentum Black, I am using VersaFine Black Onyx ink, one of my favorite black inks to use when I'm not doing any type of alcohol markers. All right, we're just going to use our Bearly Arts glue and put these down. For the most part, I will kind of put a blue one over here, a pink one over there, and then do the opposite on the other side of the card. So, and we're just going to go all the way around the perimeter of this card and cover all of the space. So you will see here in a few that I will have to stop and cut the flowers off of the edge because I did plan on using those. So you'll see that they hang off the edge. And I want to use everything as possible because we took the time to stamp this all out and die cut these all out. So we're going to use all of our scraps around here. And if I didn't use them, they would just pretty much go in the trash anyways. So, because I don't know where else I would use them at this point. So here we go. I'm like, okay, I'm running out of pink. So here is where I'm like, okay, I have to go and cut the other halves off of the other card so that I can keep going with my card here. Lo and behold, I did find a pink one in my lap. So because I was like, I feel like I am missing one. And I can see here that I only have 5. I should have had 6. So definitely could have used that pink one, but I didn't find it until I was at the end of my card. But we are going to use all of these pieces, even like just the little pieces. Now, like I said, would I have cut probably maybe 1 more of each color? So if I would have had 7 of each flower, that would have made me even happier, I think. I would have been able to come out from the edges of the card a little bit. So if you want it to be a little fuller, cut a few more stamps. I was actually very happy with the way that this card came out. I loved it. I didn't actually think that I would like it as much as I did when I was doing it. But it actually came out super pretty. And yeah, I'm probably going to sit here and just stamp out a ton of these flowers and make a few of these, because I think that this is, especially for us in the winter right now, this is just perfectly springy and lovely. And I love how this card came out. And I think that anybody that would get this card would definitely like cheer them up a little bit. So I know if I was in a position that I was not feeling well, or maybe just had a surgery or something along the like that, and I got a handmade card, that I would super appreciate it. Okay, so this is like one of those spots where I could have probably used a full flower to make it come down from the edge a little bit. But like I said, once I see the end card, I don't think that I missed it. So just cutting off more of those. And I honestly had a few more pieces that I could have plopped in there, but all the white was done. And yeah, maybe you could even add a third color, like a third off color than the blue. And I think that might have made it pop even more. But I was trying to concentrate on these 2 colorways a little bit. All right. I was trying to bring down the amount of decisions I had to make, honestly. It's the end of the week and I'm a little decisioned out. So this is also one of my favorite techniques to do to match my cards and the colors that I've used. I will take my sentiment, keep it as much as I can in the paper, and then stick it down to my crafty, my sticky mat. And I will use the colors or the colorway. Sometimes I go a little bit lighter or a little bit darker. Here I went a little bit on the darker side. And use the inks to color my sentiments. This way I don't have to go and dredge through hundreds of things of cardstock, of colored cardstock, I should say, or B, I don't have to worry about buying expensive colored cardstock to match everything. So I'm a pretty budget crafter. If you've been following me for any time, even in my scrapbooking, I try and budget very well. I don't have a huge budget for crafting, so I don't buy all of the specialty cardstock that a lot of our suppliers supply us with. I'm losing my words here. So I like to use my inks, and I've invested in my inks to color my cardstock, and that way it is all matchy. So we are just going to build up that sentiment with just 1 layer. I didn't cut it out of a second or a third, probably honestly just like a little bit of a lazy point on mine. I didn't have another white piece of scrap. It didn't fit. So I was like, 2 is enough. And we're going to build that up. Then using some more liquid glue, just a light application. I actually put a little too much on this and it leaked around. I was like, oop, should have wiped off just a little bit. But we want all of those little edges to stick down so nothing is getting caught. And put that right in the middle. Honestly, like I said, keeping it nice and simple and creating several different colorways of this card is going to be perfect for my stash. That way, whoever this card needs to go to, I will have something for them. Just going to jazz it up just a smidgen with a few clear rhinestones around the edges. I think it just gives it a little bit of jazz. And ending it with that, pretty much. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you are enjoying these videos. Let me know in the comments below. Do you stockpile like get well cards or sympathy cards? Because I know I have it in the past, and I feel like every time I need one, it's at a time where I just don't have time to sit down and do a card real quick. And then I feel bad because I didn't get a card out to somebody. All right, I'm going to leave you with a few pictures of the card. And like I said, I hope you guys all enjoyed this, and I will see you all in the next one.